I'm Kristy Aasheim, a top producing agent in North Dakota, and this show is all about learning from the best. Top producers, brokerage owners, and industry experts who have faced the challenges, put in the work, and climbed to greatness. Whether you're looking to sharpen your skills, gain new strategies, or even get inspired by the journeys of top agents, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Welcome to the Inner Circle podcast. My name is Kristy Aasheim. I am your host, and today I'm joining Mr. Michael Young. He's a real estate agent with Engel Völkers in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Kristy.
Absolutely. So first of all, tell me a little bit about Michael. Who's Michael outside of real estate? Just who are you?
Oh, wow. Outside of real estate, that's a pretty big part of my life. But I'm a father of two girls. I am a husband of 14 years. Been with the same gal for over 20. Yeah, I live outside of Pittsburgh in suburbia, the county north in Beaver County, but I service all of greater Pittsburgh. I am a very much a student of personal growth and development, psychology, and so forth, still to this day. So that is, yeah, that's a big part of who I am. But certainly, I have young girls, despite being 47, and they certainly take up a lot of my spare time.
Oh, absolutely. Kids are definitely my life. I work my whole life around their schedules. But
That's the thing about having kids too, like later in life, because I try to relish all of that time spent with them. I get it. If I was in my 20s, how I was in my 20s, I don't think I would be as good at it as I am now.
oh, absolutely. It's different. So I actually had kids in my 20s and then restarted and had another child in my 30s. And it was
Okay.
completely different on how
Yeah.
things went. Because in my 20s, first of all, I was broke. And you're just, the struggle is real. I had two toddlers. You're just trying to work. You're trying to get by. You're trying to have fun with them. And I feel like now that I'm older, I get to spend a little bit different time with them. But
Right.
now I have two older boys too, which is cool. And I'm not that old, I guess. So it's just kind of,
Yeah. Are you like the cool mom?
I don't know. They wouldn't like to say that. I have boys, so I think I'm not that cool,
Yeah.
but I like to think I'm cool. But it is good. Real estate, as you said right in the beginning, like who are we without real estate? It really takes over our lives. But at the same time, I feel like we get to be there for our children because we just make our schedules work around it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So this is my 25th year in real estate. I've been an agent or an advisor for 8, but I worked in corporate America with real estate jobs before that.
Okay.
And honestly, the 9 to 5 plus the commute, I wasn't here as much. And that was a big part in leaving, was because I was missing my daughter's first steps. And my older daughter now, she's 9. And so that was a big factor in that, because I was missing out. And you're spending another couple hours commuting each day too, plus your 8, 9, 10, 12 hours sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. It's a completely game changer, but it's 24/7. It's just different. We're
It
just
is.
constantly
It
answering
is.
our phones and annoying our families, but it's okay.
And that's the thing, like I am very much wired as a free spirit. So too much structure just is, it's like bondage to me. Like I'm chained to the ball and chain if have a set schedule. I try to be disciplined, and that's where coaching comes in for me, because I need that, because it's not, of course, forced on us. So I have to seek that guidance to implement some structures. So otherwise it would be completely chaos, because I'm wired as such a free spirit.
Yeah. No, everybody is different. I'm very structured, but can go with the flow. So
So
I'm,
we would be a good team.
yes, absolutely. You got to have a little bit of both
Yeah.
to make that work. But yeah, so as far as being in it that long, what did you do in corporate America that was real estate?
So Pittsburgh at one point, and I wouldn't say necessarily that it's not anymore, but there used to be all these like national title companies and appraisal management companies. So if you were, let's say, Chase, you would have a one-stop shop. You get especially for refis. So you get your title appraisal, and companies here in Pittsburgh would like manage that process for you. So now that was 25 years ago, and I worked in appraisals. So I would have a list of appraisers I would call in, let's say, Tucson, Arizona, and I would work to schedule and try to find the best turnaround times. And we would, of course, they'd have us nickel and diming on fees and things like that. And so that's what I did. And then I became like a manager and a trainer and things like that because I was doing it for so long. I did that for 13 years. And then I did corporate relocation after that for a few years. And then I ended up getting my license. And that was a whole thing. My health started suffering and things like that. And I just lost my way. So a lot of prayer, I did a Daniel fast and I just decided to quit one day. It didn't come out of nowhere, but things have been trajecting, like going downhill for a while. And my triglycerides were just through the roof. And again, missing my daughter's first steps. And so what happened was I prayed and fasted. I felt led to quit, and I did. And they were really cool about it. Like they also felt it was a good idea. And they knew that I was really going through it. So kudos to them. And so we split amicably. And I got a call from, at that point, one of the real estate offices near my home, and I said that, oh, it'd be great, love to have you. Of course, you can fog a mirror, they want to have you. And I said no. And then my wife was like, you always wanted to do that. And I thought, well, that's true because I have a severance package and so forth right now. If I'm ever going to do it, it would be now. So then I went all in, and my life has never been the same since. It was the greatest decision I've ever made.
Yeah, real estate is so much fun and it really does take over our lives. And I feel like I can't have a conversation anymore without real estate being in the conversation, which is probably
Yeah.
terrible, but that's just where my brain is.
Yeah, and that's the thing I think about. I want to be that person that everyone thinks about when it comes to real estate. How's the market? Let me tell you, I'll tell you about the market. And so I definitely want to be that person, but I think that I'm boring now because I think I need some hobbies or something because
Yeah.
it's really about the market.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. I don't even know what my hobbies are besides work. So I haven't figured that out yet. And my kids are super easy now. Like my oldest is 9, my youngest is 9, my oldest is 19. Like he's an adult, lives on his own. So I
Yeah,
don't know what to do with myself. I'm like, okay, nobody's home. What do I do besides work?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
a weird thing that you go through in life.
There's like thing because you have like your must do things each day, and then there's things that you have ancillary things that you would like to do, and once you clear that plate you can take those on. And that's why I try to finish up around 7 p.m. each day. Now sometimes, like if I know I'm away for a couple of hours, then I'll extend it to 9. And certainly there's times like spring, it's busy right now for me right now, so my hours are a little bit over, but I try to remain within that confines because I know I need my rest both physically and mentally in order to show up better for my clients, my family, my parents who are now they're seniors at this point. So I try to balance it as much as I can. Whereas before, I was just straight pedal to the metal and not really paying attention about those things as much. But I think that with with the experience and learning and just seeing me how I've tailed off when I'm not getting proper rest and things that I try to incorporate in my day and try to have a little bit of operating hours.
Oh, absolutely. You have to. I used to broker some agents and I would always tell them, you make your schedule. You don't make your clients make your schedule. You give them
Right,
options. If you're available tomorrow,
right,
it's 8 to noon, 5 to 4, or
right,
5 to 7, whatever that is. Those are the
right.
options. I guarantee you, you're not going to lose a client because you scheduled them, you know?
And that's the thing. And if you do, that's probably not someone that's going to be a good fit.
Exactly. You want people that you want to work with and that the
Right,
relationship grows properly anyway, because
right.
then you get a referral from year and year after
Yeah,
that.
you're so right. You're so right. Yeah.
Yeah, you want the right people. Now you talk about coaching. You were part of the Brian Buffini coaching
Yes.
system. How'd that go?
Yes.
Like when did that start? How'd you get into that?
So I've been doing that for about 6 or 7 years in with a coach. But I did a training within my first year. And if you're familiar with Buffini at all, it's very much like personal growth and development as well as working by referral. So what happened was he was at one of the real estate brokerages I was at initially, they have national conferences. Like I think Remax has R4 and things like
Yep.
that. So we have, oh, I forget what it's called. Anyway, he was on there. And so my office broker happened to be trained and coached through Arbolife with Jim Rohn in the 1980s and 90s, who's like the godfather of personal growth and development. When he was speaking about Jim Rohn and those personal growth and Zig Ziglar and Og Mandino and folks like that, and it resonated with her. So she came back and was like, I'm doing this training, met this guy at this national convention when I was there and blah blah blah. And I thought, is he coming to our office? Who's this guy? And so what he talked about that really got me, and you can find this on YouTube, it still exists. So it was a training called Peak Producers, which they don't make anymore, but a lot of us, it's very robust and it takes months to complete. And he talked about, okay, agents go through this ups and downs like this. What if I told you that I could keep you in a peak state and get a constant stream of referrals and become, and what he said was professional business owner. And that resonated with me. So then I'm like, okay, I'm in. And at the time, I was in my first year. So it was like, they're cheaper now, but like it was like $600, I think, for the course, and which was to me a lot of money at that time. And I had a really nice closing. I'm like, all right, I'm going to do it. And it changed my life in every single way, not just my business, but my life. And I'm not saying that Brian did, but he led me to this change. And so a lot of it was goal setting, personal growth and development, working on yourself so you can show up better for your clients and your family and things like that. Plus a system of working by referral. It's literally a system that you follow that's very simple, that it helps you make money. And that's not how they sell it, but that's how I look at it now. Because if I don't do it, boy, I tend to be in a business rut if I'm not doing those simple fundamentals that everyone should do.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
so I there's like a pro membership you can sign up for where you get marketing. So I did that for a little while. And then during, I believe it was during the pandemic, I had an epiphany and I woke up and felt like I needed a coach, and they guided me through this. Because I think usually when you go through the rough times, that's when coaching is really important. It isn't so much whenever you have all this extra cash per se, because you're flying by the seat of your pants. Like after the pandemic came, that's how we were. But when the market got tougher, that's when my coaching really got, that's where I fell back on, was my training and coaching that they had done. And my coach, now her name is Portia Hawkins, and we had this Rocky, it would have been 2023. We kind of had, did you ever see Rocky 3?
I've seen them all, yes,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
So it was like that scene with Apollo Creed on the beach with Rocky, and where's the eye of the tiger kind of moment. We had this moment, and that I've been on a run ever since. It woke me up a lot. And I think that before that, they were having the coaches not be so tough on us because of everything we were going through with the market and the pandemic and things. And she basically was like, if you're not talking to people, you're going broke in this market. And she was right. And it's not like every session is her beating me up by any means, but I feel like she helped me see that, because I was making the excuses. I was not doing, I felt like I was working and doing, and I was doing things, but it wasn't what I needed to be doing. I was not prioritizing lead gen. I was just working in my business per se. Yeah, it was a huge awakening for me.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like there's two different kinds of agents. There's agents that see being an agent, oh, that looks fun and they make a lot of money and it's just going to be easy and they're just going to try to do this. Or
Yeah,
there's
you just
agents
get your
that,
license and the phone starts ringing.
yep, or
Little do they know it's other brokerages trying to recruit you.
there's that too.
Yeah,
But then there's the agents that like, oh, this is my business and this is how I'm going to structure my business. This is how I'm going to do my
right.
business. And you have it down and people recognize that and it just
Yeah,
radiates off you. Like, and you have to surround yourself with the same people that you're wanting to be. If you're wanting to be
it,
successful, you're going to be around
yeah,
those agents and those
yeah.
people.
It so yeah, within the Buffini network, but despite us being around the country, we stay connected really well. So even when I go, let's say the Outer Banks is a big vacation spot for Pittsburgh in the Northeast, the Outer Banks of North Carolina, sorry.
Okay.
And when I went down there, I made sure that I connected with a Buffini, and we're friends. Like we've stayed connected ever since. I hadn't met her before until I went down there, but and so I go to a lot of the seminars and events and things like that, and just a basic master class isn't really that costly, and it's worth it. So I do tend to struggle locally with finding those folks, but also I'm guarded too because I don't necessarily want to give up kind of my secret sauce per se. I think that they have to find that, but that's why with my brokerage it's been a good fit too because we support each other that way. So that's been good too. So I think you have to find your tribe, whether it's within your brokerage or company or like Pittsburgh, there was a women's group, the women in real estate, and that seemed to be good for a lot of folks, for a lot of women. And so just finding the tribe, I think, is important.
Oh, absolutely. And it does not have to be local. It does not have to be
Right.
even in person. Like you said, a lot of my tribe is online or
Yeah.
over the phone or anything because those are just my people.
Right.
Doesn't mean I don't have friends that are here. It just means those aren't
Right.
my core people to work on
Yeah.
success and goals with.
And it's funny because if you see someone every 3, 4 months, that might be about as much as I see someone locally, though, too, honestly, if you think about it. It's just so if I go to an event, I see someone and I'll see them again in the fall. That the situation might be exactly the same for someone that's local here. I may not see them for several months. And then there might be an outing that I'm at and I see them, you know what I mean? But
Right.
so
We're adults,
it's
we
really,
have lives and
oh,
families, and kids, we're busy. No, it's
yeah.
totally normal. Okay, so we talk about leads and referrals. Have you ever, because this is just something that's on my mind and driving me crazy, used Zillow or even tried it?
Early on, yeah. And I'm glad that I did, just so I know I can speak to it. So I'm a solo agent, and it was a lot of chasing. My thought process at that time was trying to get and maintain connection where I grew up, which is about an hour north of Pittsburgh. And I haven't lived there in 25 years, but I thought that would be another avenue if I'm out there on Zillow for that. And I will say that Zillow definitely, like what they promised in terms of numbers of what they would call a lead, they over delivered, not under. They did set. It's just what they call a lead and what I call a lead are two different things. Granted, this is, I think they've restructured things, but all in all, I highly doubt it's any different. But it was a lot of chasing. And I just don't like to do that. I'm intentional about my time. And honestly, I think about it now because I have a pretty good database, a pretty good sized database. If I'm calling my database now and I'm doing over 50 calls a week, where am I going to find time to chase these people? Because they're not only am I doing my lead gen within my database and staying connected, and that can be hard if I'm on the road all week showing houses, that can be hard. Where am I going to find time to chase these people? Now, for a team, I get it because you have to keep agents engaged, but I just found that you have to really spend a lot of money to really get some traction with it. And me as a solo agent, I'm not interested in people who are not fully committed to buying because that's really my why. I believe in the American dream and I want to be a catalyst to help whoever wants to make this happen. And if they're not really sure yet, I'm probably not the best fit anyway. Because, like, now if someone knows and they've made up their mind, it might be in a year or so. Yes, because I'll retire doing this. So, yeah, if once they made up their mind, I don't care how long it takes. But boy, it was very much more transactional. And that's just not what I'm trying to do. It was not a good fit for me. I would tell someone who's newer to probably stay away from it. Now, a team makes a lot more sense, but I just think what if you had a large team and you were spending like 15 grand on that's going out the door every month.
A lot.
It's just I'm selective and I'm intentional about how I spend my time, just period. And I don't really, that's not how I want to spend my time.
Yeah, it's changed a lot. Not a big fan, don't get me wrong. I definitely work on referrals, basically only referrals. But I've had Zillow for 9 years. For some reason, I just can't let it go. I think it's more or less I just don't want to give my spot to somebody else in my.
Yeah, I get it. And that's how I feel about the BNI situation too. That opportunity comes up and it may not be, yeah, you don't want to, I totally get it. You don't want to lose your spot.
Had it for 9 years. I don't want to leave it, but they've
Right.
changed and I hate it. So what they've done
Mm,
now is made it so that buyers can click a show, like actually a showing request, and you have to accept it for the time they want it without any question, buyer not on the line, and it automatically sets up the showing in your MLS. And I'm like, that is so wrong in so many levels. And at what point does NAR kick into that and say, hey, these people have to sign a showing request? These people need to be pre-approved. These people need to visit with an agent before setting up a showing. So that's a
right.
thing. And it drives me nuts because I don't even want to answer them.
And that's so I know that if they're so the way like I'll schedule my calendar, the next if it's within 24 hours, which I mean, it probably is. Am I right?
Oh,
By the
sometimes
time,
the same day. And I'm like, no, we need to talk about,
right.
are you pre-approved? I'm
Well,
not.
yeah. And plus, like my schedule is usually made by then for the next day. So I can't generally squeeze things in. So that, yeah, because what I do is I don't make people run the gauntlet per se, but yeah, we have to have the conversation about the compensation according to NAR, which we've always had. Pennsylvania has the had the buyer's agreement in place before. I will just say to my detriment, I didn't always have that conversation because I wanted to build trust first. Now we don't really have a choice, so it is what it is. But I want, especially with a Zillow lead, need to do that. Yeah, I need to make sure that you have the finances to prove it. And in fairness, the listing agent and the seller on the other end, they want to know that the person is good for it as well. They don't want to have people coming in that aren't qualified either. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly. Especially if
yeah,
it's occupied and you spent 4 hours cleaning your house just to bring a buyer over
yeah,
that
yeah,
absolutely can't buy a home. That's
yeah,
not,
not good.
no.
Not good. That's a tough one. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like the change. I'm sure that'll change again because other agents have to be feeling what I'm feeling. I just think it's,
Oh, I would think it would have to be everyone. Yeah, I'm a little bit far removed, but I know that even talking to buyers where they don't understand, like they look on Zillow and think that we can schedule for what they have, and it might not even be like I'm not even available, and the home may not really be available at that time. I don't know.
oh yeah,
Uh,
it's way delayed always.
yeah, yeah.
For sure. There's so much to it. Even when a buyer calls as a referral, you're still educating them as well, even though they're probably
Oh
more
yeah.
educated than a Zillow lead. Most people don't even know that we're independent still at this stage in life.
Right,
People think that we're just employees and we should just do what they want.
right. And quite honestly, it might not. I like to give most people the benefit of the doubt, but really not everyone's a good fit. I usually don't really find that out until later because everyone's the first date is always everyone's always wife material at that point. But then you find out what they're really like, and it's oh. But yeah, yeah, I do. Yeah, because I'll do a consultation. One of the questions is on a scale of 1 to 10, like where you at, what's your time frame, things like that. And then when I recommend lenders, I have a major go-to, but I don't just give one, and it has nothing to do with liability purposes. It actually has to do with programs that the lenders tend to have and also communication style because like
Absolutely.
if you're not vibing with that person, it's going to be a long, stressful process. So definitely my buyer, if you really connect with someone, go that route. And so I usually do about 3 or 4, depending on the buyer situation and what programs are out there at that time. Springtime, there's all kinds of programs usually for, especially because I do a lot of first time home buyers. And so that's tends to be whenever there's grant money available and things like that too, at least in my area. The list might be a little longer right now.
Oh, I never knew that you guys went that way, I guess, that you had grant money that only went certain ways. See, I'm in North Dakota. We are an oil bearing state. So we have the Bank of North Dakota that gives us the programs all year round. So we don't have
Oh,
certain ones at certain times that I'm aware of anyway. We've just had some really good programs all the time. So we have an NDFHA. So it's FHA plus they get the down payment assistance if they want it.
oh yeah. So
Good
that we have
qualify,
that.
obviously, but
We right. We do have that. It's PHFA, which is a great program. And then, but sometimes there might be a grant for, and there might be just certain lenders, and a lot of the time it might be a bank. But like once those like tickets are gone, then it's gone. Or once the grant money is gone, it's gone. So it may only last through the summer or something. Like one time we have Citizens Bank here, and I think they're based in Philly, but I'm in Pittsburgh. And then they had something, I think it was couple years ago. It was like 10 grand towards closing costs potentially if you qualified. It was an incredible program. But of course, I think by fall it was done. But it was amazing while it was there.
oh yeah, people that got that, heck yeah, free money. I mean,
Yeah, it was crazy. It was great.
I guess we have had some of those in certain counties that put programs just to stimulate.
Yeah, it could be county based and sometimes even town based. Yeah. Like the city of Pittsburgh has some things. Usually they're usually all year as well, but sometimes I think they had one to where it was it had a select limit on the funds as well a couple years ago.
Yeah. No, it's great for buyers, that's for sure. So I guess with that, if you had any piece of advice for, say, a new agent coming into real estate, what advice would you give them? Something that you wouldn't have thought of giving to your young self when you started.
Yet focus on the people that you know first off, because that's going to be really where you start to build your there's different words for it. Community is the new thing that it's referred to, but your database, your sphere, as they say. So the people that right out the box, but you have to keep in mind, you have to keep in touch with these people. So don't be afraid to actually pick up the phone and call someone, because I think sometimes we get into that reluctancy that you don't want to bother someone, and just show folks that you're the professional that you are, and keep learning the market, learning the national market and the outlook. I think it's important to also know that of the history of housing, because if I do a lot of info gathering from threads. I don't promote my business on threads per se, but I use it to see what people are talking about. And there's a lot of really bad information because they think the market's going to crash. But and prices have only went down a few times in 75 years. So
Yep.
you have to know that because history tends to repeat itself. So if you know that, you can confidently say, no, it happened in '08, 5 of those years, and I think it happened 2 other years in 75 years total. It's not going to crash. So just keep learning. And certainly once you start getting into when you're moving along, really developing your why. And it has to do with, of course, it's to support your family and things like that, but that's you have to take that out. Like, why do you do what you do? So you can take, if you look at Apple and their why, so it's to challenge the status quo, yada. Start thinking about that and leading with that, like thinking about that in every step you're taking as a professional. This finding your why, or starting with why. Simon Sinek is a great book to think about things like that too, because it can really start setting you apart from everyone else, because it's very hard to articulate for most people. So if you can start articulating that people are going to be drawn to that.
Absolutely. Where are your goals now? I know you're very orientated. Where are you
Well,
headed for the next 5 years? Where do you think you're going to go?
oh, that's a good one. It's interesting because I can't get motivated by numbers and number of sales and things like that. So there is a certain goal within Pittsburgh real estate that I'm shooting for, and it can be broken down by numbers. It might take me yet another year to get there. There's certain things like it's cool. Like I start as an instructor at the community college in my county teaching real estate starting in the summer. It's really wild because I was not the best student. They found that they wanted me to, and it has nothing to do with licensing or anything like that. It's actually basically seminars for the month of July, and then I'll do that again in the fall, and then I'll take it down. Actually, they have a campus in Washington County, which is south of Pittsburgh. That's pretty cool. So that's, I guess, just to bring really more value to people, to bring more hope and encouragement to folks that think they can't buy a home, that you can. It just might not be tomorrow, but people can do it. It's doable. And I think people have lost hope in the American dream. They think that, that someone that claims to be a millionaire on YouTube is going to lead them, and they're honestly going to tell you not to buy a home and try having a family of four and paying rent.
No, it's ridiculous. Everybody can
It,
achieve it. It's literally
right.
just work with somebody, call an agent or a lender and figure it out. I
Yeah.
have no
I,
problem walking through. If it takes a year, if it takes 2 years, we'll get
yeah.
you.
Yeah. I just want to keep bringing that hope because it's doable, but yet there's so much negative talk about it because of affordability and things like that. And I get it. I know because I see the numbers. I know, but you definitely have to start somewhere. And if it's something that you want to do, I am so honored to help people. It's such a blessing. It's such an honor in life to be able to help people do this. People that never thought, granted, young people, but there's been people that are in their 60s, never thought they would own a home, first time buyers.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, it's amazing. It's truly amazing to be that kind of vessel, that catalyst to help.
That's the fun part about our job. The rewarding part is when we
Yeah.
can find people, especially when they're in their older ages and they're saying that's their first home. It really
Oh yeah.
resonates with you because you're like, gosh, I never realized how spoiled I was to own my own home until that moment. Like that,
Right.
it's just really nice. And then it's a realization of how do we get through to more people to make them realize they can do this.
Exactly. Because it's doable. And of course, the number one reason why people move to be closer to family. So if I can help bring grandma and grandpa back here or bring them out to grandma and grandpa or whatever it is. Yeah, it's just really I just like providing value in people's lives. These are major impacts to be made, and to be someone who's positive and bringing encouragement, and it is truly a blessing,
Oh,
you know.
absolutely. 100%. Michael, to wrap it up, I would like to say thank you so much for being on here.
Thank
And
you for having.
absolutely. And we'll make sure to include all of your handles so everybody can reach out to you. And if there's any way else you want people to reach out to you, go ahead and let us know where is the best way to reach out to you so we can get you some.
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram and Facebook, and most of those are also going to have my email and so forth in there. And yeah, even if you Google me, you can find my phone number in there somewhere too, I'm sure. Yeah, I'd be honored to help anyone to coming or going from Pittsburgh. I'm working with a lot of people that are coming to the area actually, more than people leaving, which used to be the exact opposite when I was a kid. Most people were leaving. So
Well,
it's exciting time here.
if I have anybody coming that way, I will surely reach out to you. And otherwise, thank you so much for being on this episode today.
All right, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you.
That's it for this episode of the Inner Circle podcast. I hope you've enjoyed the conversation and took away some valuable insights to help you along your real estate journey. If you found today's episode helpful, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop me a comment below with your biggest takeaway or any questions you might have. And if you know someone who would benefit from this conversation, share this episode with them. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time on the Inner Circle.